This is a reading for you, Giselle, and I'm going to use the Wheels of Change Tarot. Really beautiful tarot. It has a lot of ethnic cards in it, very colorful, beautiful details in the images, and it reads really very well. So you have asked me to give you a general reading, but you also wanted to focus on someone that you care about and how they're going to fit into your life and your future. So let's get started here. Oversized deck is a little hard to shuffle sometimes. Okay. The card that represents you and where you're at right now is the, pardon me, Seven of Cups. This is a card of your current concern, and this is the Three of Cups. This card represents your past foundation. That's the Eight of Swords. This is your recent past, and that is the Ten of Wands. This card is your current situation, where you're at right now, and that is the Nine of Coins. This is your near future card, what you can expect. And this is the, I believe it's the Nine of Swords. No, excuse me, Nine of Wands. Swords. Nine of Wands. This is a card that represents you and how you feel about yourself and your life. This is a reversed card, and it's the Devil. This is how your friends feel about you and your life, your family also. This is the Five of Discs, or coins. This is your Goal card. And this is the reversed Fool card. Interesting. And this is the card that is your outcome if you stay on your current path. That's the Prince of Swords. I'm going to put that there so you can see it a little better. Large cards. Okay. You'd asked me to explain a little bit about how this works, and so what I'll tell you is I'm looking at you as the Seven of Cups and what your current concern is, which is the Three of Cups. And then at the same time, I'm kind of looking around at the other cards to see how this all fits together and plays as a whole. The Eight of Swords being your foundation, which tells me a little bit about your personality and how your home life was, how that changed you as you grew into an adult from a youth. The Ten of Wands tells me a little bit about a recent past. The Nine of Discs tells me what your current situation is. And so I'm kind of looking at this as a whole, because tarot is kind of like a map. It sees where you've been on the map, which is your path, and it tells me where you were recently, where you're at now, and it also shows a little bit into the future. These are all based on your choices and situations you've been through, concerns that you've had, and so that all influences how you choose things in your life when events come up or choices are meant to be made. And so seeing that all together tells me where this card leads you. Knowing how you feel about yourself and how your family and friends feel about you tell me a little bit about how they see your path. The Goal card up here tells me what it is you really want. um, what you want to accomplish or what you dream about, what you hope for. These are your hopes. And this card over here tells me that if you stay on this path without any um, change on your part, without choosing a different path, then this is what the outcome will be for you. That means that these are not set cards. They're changeable, and based on how you feel about the direction you're going and what might happen to you, you can choose to look for something that's coming and choose a different path. Make little changes so that if the outcome isn't what you want, if it doesn't match with your goal, then you can choose a different outcome. And life is like that. It's a lot of choices along the direction that you're taking, and a direction can be predictable based on your choices. You can look at that and think, okay, if I choose to do this, that's what will happen. And so you want to make the best choices you can that are available to you. Sometimes that doesn't happen because our heart comes into play, and sometimes it does when our head takes over and says, I know what you need, really, really. What's your choice for the betterment of you and your family? So that's kind of how tarot cards are read. So what I'll tell you about the Seven of Cups, which represents you. Cups are cards of love. They speak of happiness, how your place is when it's good, and sometimes when it's bad. It's emotional. It's a water sign. So it's the flow of love and happiness in your life. That's what it is. And the Seven of Cups actually represents kind of a illusionary success. You have dreams, you have someone in your heart that you feel an attachment to, and so these aren't necessarily things that are so, but they're things that you want. So you are somewhat of a dreamer. You hold many things dear in your heart, and not all of them are yours to keep, but they're things that are important to you anyway. And that's where you're at right now. There are things in your heart, things that you know you want, that you hope for, but they haven't realized themselves. Now your current concern is another cup card, and that's the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups represents good fortune for you, solving problems, healing, pain, that sort of thing. If you had, like some kind of serious situation in your love life, you are the healing portion of that love. To me, that represents the other person as having a problem, because you wouldn't react in this way if they didn't. And that's the kind of choice in a person that you make, somebody who needs you rather than somebody that you need. In other words, you aren't looking for somebody in your life who will take care of you so much as you're looking for somebody that you want to bond with, that you want to care for, that you want to pour love into, that you want to adore, that sort of thing. And sometimes when you make choices like that, it may not be the best thing for you or your family. I understand you have a couple of children. My sense from what you told me is that you are not married or committed in a relationship. And I could see that you would go that way and not feel threatened by it because you have that hope. That's your personality. And looking here at your past foundation, which is the Eight of Swords, being a conflict card, the Eight of Swords typically represents a kind of betrayal, maybe even a bondage of some sort. It could be that your family, rather than freeing you spiritually, held you or made you do things, even like, I don't know, labor, that sort of thing. I'm not saying it's bad, but it feels like kind of a shattered childhood in some ways. And your reaction to that was emotional, and so drama has been a big part of your life. And I'm also sensing, and I don't know where this is coming from, but an alcoholism, not necessarily with you, but people around you. And that may have contributed to this greatly. So I'm not saying there wasn't love, but maybe there wasn't the guidance that you really needed, or there wasn't the kind of guidance that you needed, is what I'm saying. You know, parents love you, they care for you. Some parents are so involved in the drama of their life that the children sometimes get overlooked, and that's the sense that I get here in some way. It feels sad, you know, painful kind of thing. I hope that I'm wrong in that. It might have been just a situation sometime that lasted for a long time in your youth, a loss of close family, a parent maybe. I can't quite see exactly what it was, but the sadness was there, and in some sense you were kind of overlooked or not given the attention at times that you really, really needed, because there was so much pain or problems of some sort. But the thing is that you've come out of it emotionally strong inside, and that's where your love comes from, and your power of healing, your touch. I have to move on here to the recent past, which is the Ten of Wands. Now, Wands is a growth card. It represents fire and strength within, that sort of thing, and energies. The 10 is a selfish, aggressive, kind of overextending personality. And I would say that somehow that happened to you. It might have been the relationship that we're talking about here, where you have been suppressed. In a manner of speaking, you haven't been the person that was important to who this person is here. They're self-important, is what I'm saying. Their wants, their desires, this person's needs, and I'm thinking this is probably the relationship that you had, was number one. And that's very painful to you, because you try so hard to be pleasing, to love, and to try and work through whatever it is that comes up. But this person is so self-centered, and also overbearing on you. Too many demands. That's what it feels like, too many demands. What I get from the sense of this card to here is that the choices that you've made from your childhood kind of reflect what you saw in your home life, which is not necessarily the best thing for you, but it's what you know, and it's what attracted you. And I feel like there's economic loss too, and that may also be part of the reason why this relationship has not become permanent or been permanent. I feel this overwhelming sadness in where your life has been recently. Loss, worry, economic concerns, money. I'm not sure how that works, but this relationship concerns me when I look at you and where you're going, because as hard as it might be, you may need to face this and say, I'm not sure this is really what's best, even if children are involved. But then this is choice. This is something you have to choose and something you have to actually figure out. I can't see this through your eyes. What I see tells me that there are concerns and things that you need to really see for what they are. That's what I feel like. Now, your current circumstances, which is the Nine of Discs, this is where you're at right now. The discs are coins. Coins obviously is money, and it relates to the earth, earth power, that sort of thing. Can even be wealth at times. A 9 means a material well-being, kind of prudence in your home life, that sort of thing. So you're very careful. You obviously work hard for what you get when you're working. So you earn everything that you have. And that's also part of your personality down here, is that you are a doer. When you're not hurting, you're a doer. When things are good, you can accomplish things in your life. And this just tells me that for the moment you're okay. You're okay. The outlook is not great, but good. And it doesn't relate to this relationship over here. This is something else here. It might be family backing. It might be that you have saved money, that sort of thing, and so you're stable for now, that sort of thing. But when I look a little bit further into the future, this card right here, which is the Nine of Wands, tells me that the path you're heading towards, what you have to look for in Wands, again, is energy and growth. It's kind of a strength also within. The Nine of Wands is obstinance. Sometimes you have to pause to struggle through what's going on. And I'm thinking that this has to do with this relationship. You are determined to make it work, even if there isn't a commitment. You are committed, that sort of thing. Part of it might be the children, and that's not uncommon. A lot of people, that's why they really stay together. That's where the hope is, because the children are there, and that brings the strength to your heart and your hopes for seeing them develop well and be successful in life. But again, I feel some painfulness in this relationship, and I don't see a strong future for it that's positive. I mean, I'm not saying there is no future. There is a future. If you work hard, you can probably make it go. But I'm just saying that I'm not sure that there is a positive future in it. That depends on other things also. This is a choice you'd have to make and a risk you'd have to make, and we'll look at the outcome card over here in just a moment. So let's move on to how you feel about yourself. And Devil reversed. That is what we call a major arcana card, meaning it has strong significance. If it's an event, it's a life-changing event. If it's about yourself, it's how you feel, and I would say there are some dramatics in your life. You feel the drama, and it resonates with you. The pain when you're in pain is significant. The love when you're in love is deep and strong and blinding. The hurt, from a relationship breakup or from things that go wrong, loss of family members, that sort of thing. When you feel hurt, you feel it so deeply that it's to your soul. I'm getting I'm getting a spiritual thing in here, like a native spiritual feeling throughout these cards. Shaman, native. This could be your background, I guess, where you come from, and the people that you associate with, your family, your friends, that sort of thing. I'm just saying that this card here gives me that feeling. The reverse devil, actually what it means is spiritual understanding. You know, fears are unfounded at times, even though you feel them. It's the same with love. It may be, you know, not returned as given. The reverse devil card really has nothing to do with the devil. It has to do with spiritual things. And like I said, I'm feeling a native spirit through these cards. Probably in some way relates to you, maybe your ethnic background, that sort of thing. It just tells me that you are a very strongly guided person. So to you, the things in life that are spiritual are absolutely important. They absolutely affect your thoughts, your feelings, your heart, your mind. So you feel good about yourself. You're positive about yourself when you're feeling positive. I'm just saying that you have these big emotional swings too. How your family and your friends feel about you, this is the 5 of coins. When they look at you, they see kind of a loneliness inside your person. Even when you're with somebody, I'm not sure why they see that, other than that may have been kind of the guiding line of your life from the time you were quite young. You may have been significantly on your own. And so that's how family and friends kind of relate to your personality, is that you're very individual. You might even be somewhat introverted. Not in a bad way, that's just your personality, how it developed, that sort of thing. So they do feel positive about you. They do love you. Your family and friends love you dearly, especially now that you've matured in life. They can see, you know, that you've produced a couple of lovely children, and so they're proud of you in that area. That's all I see about that right now, other than that, you know, if you needed someone, you could go to someone and they would, you know, hold you and give you emotional support if you needed it. Now your goal card up here, the Fool card reversed. That's an interesting card for a goal. Reversed, it means folly and thoughtlessness, you know, actions, and that you need to watch out for things. So I would say that as far as a goal goes, it's short term. You're not really looking into the future. You're looking into the now, what you want now, what you want to accomplish now. And I think that comes back to this relationship problem. You can't see any farther than that because it's so strongly on your mind. Again, that's because that's the way you are emotionally. When you are holding something, you almost worry it. You know, I'm not saying there's anything bad about it. You know, we're all people, we all have feelings, and we all have our, you know, personal tendencies, and that's just one of yours, is to hold something strongly and worry on it. And so, you know, it's not necessarily a good goal. You need to look a little further past that and look back. I think for you, I would recommend that you look back and see what has actually come of this relationship aside from the children, because the children are yours. You know, they have a mother who cares for them and loves them and will take care of them regardless. You need to look back and see, was this going in a direction that was going to be meaningful, that was going to be positive for my kids, that was going to make my life better? If it was, and you recognize that, then your short-term goal here is to get it right. And if that's the goal you really have in mind and you really want to do, I would say it's significant for you, so pursue it. Like I said, you can work things out. You're a step-by-step person, and that's how this relationship may have to go, is step-by-step. You know, examine, communicate. That's the biggest issue, is communication. Possibly see if there really is something other than you and the kids and your future that this relationship, this person wants. Because if that's not what they want, no matter what you do, it's not going to come to fruition. So you need to work that out, find out the truth of that. What I see here in your outcome card, if you do follow that path and you do, go for your short-term goal and try and work out the relationship, this is the Prince of Swords. As a goal card, Swords is a conflict card. And the Prince itself is like messages delivered, of vigilance. You may have a long, hard road ahead of you to work this out. Is that what you want? Do you want to take that time? Is it worth it to you to put that much effort into it? And that this person you may have concerns about, other than the relationship with you, this person may have possible other things going on that you need to vigilantly pursue his commitment to you. And if it doesn't work out, then I'd say you have to let it go. You just do. You're strong enough emotionally, and you're caring enough and loving enough that I don't think it would be a problem for you to find someone else. It might take some time, because you would not be a person to go for a rebound relationship. I think you would be smart enough, because you have the children, to wait until it really was right, and it really was the person that you want to spend your life with, a life commitment. I don't necessarily get that feeling with this. I could be wrong. It could change. Things that you do, the direction you take, and how you work on it could make a change in that. I just don't feel it's strong enough now, here and now in this time. That's the best I can give you as far as guidance, is that it's unknown. A lot of it depends on you and whether you want to make the commitment yourself and pursue it, whether that's really your goal or whether you want to rethink your goal and possibly have a different outcome. The children are so important to take into consideration for this that I would spend some time meditating on it. And if you do have a native type spiritualism, then I believe you probably know how to maybe sit and ponder the situation. You may even have a spiritual friend that you can go to for advice about what you've learned here and about steps you can take, and what they can give you in feedback may be very helpful as well. I see the area that you're in, where you're living, has kind of a depression of some sort. Something that was strong in the community has changed, and it's not what it used to be. So if there is a possibility that you might move, maybe that would be something that would stimulate this relationship. Try something new and different if it's possible. So I hope this is helpful to you in some way. And again, I thank you for letting me share this with you. Bye.